Did it work for you? Don't everybody raise their hand. Please help me out. Debbie,
What?
I asked a question for you. So, let's see if I got anything on the back. No. So, Jory, thank you.
Okay, so we got these at the manager's meeting. So what I've been doing with these bracelets is, because I love wearing these little things, so now I can wear them with my work outfit, you know. So I'm going to start out my day with it on my left hand, and to remind me to place either a referral or share my app, then it goes to my right hand. And then I'll know that I did it, so it's my little reminder to still on my left.
Okay. So you're starting out with it on your left arm, and then once
I do it for the day, then it goes over here, and I know.
Okay. There's a simple idea. So I like that. So, did you think of a question?
Not yet.
So, next. Do I have to call on somebody? Wendy, you always have good ideas.
Now, just what we've shared before, but we've been implementing a lot in our offices. I'm a big proponent of using the app, the Converse app. We have a lot of testimonies already for buyer solutions of, finding out right away about a house coming to the market instead of being, 14 showings on the first day. Why would you not want to add value? Kind of like Candy was saying before, we need to add value to our clients. We need to be the ones that are looking out for them. They, like Debbie said, they can find houses and they're going to find houses on the internet. We've got to separate ourselves and do something different. So the Connect app has been working very well for us. And then also, like Ron mentioned, we've been trying to, when we can, it's not always a perfect world, but when you can list a house, maybe not let it hit. I had one this past weekend where I waited till Friday night to have it hit the MLS. We said no showings until Sunday. Everything is very regimented in the age remarks, so nobody had, could say that it wasn't being done fair. But I had already put it on the Converse app 3 days prior. So all of our McColly agents had first dibs for any prospective showings, and then hit the market, had a bunch of showings on Sunday. We specifically said in the agent remarks, because really aren't we working for the seller in this case, and shouldn't the seller have time to look at all qualified offers? So we specifically said no response to offers until Wednesday, March 20th. We had 8 offers. I did not have one complaint from any agent, from any other company that we weren't doing things fairly. My seller felt very well benefited that she was not rushed to choose something that may not have been the best offer. It gave me time to call all 8 lenders to find out if everything was on the up and up. So I just encourage you that we're really working at trying to only sell a house one time, right? It gets very wearing on everybody when we have to go through, multiple times of selling a house. So we're really just focusing on that in our offices.
Oh, thank you. Great story. Good thing I called on you. Ken.
I'll add to that about the Converse. Wendy, were all those 8 offers from McColly agents?
No, I wish. I'm sad to say they weren't.
So at Monday's manager meeting, I talked about having a success story with Converse on a listing I had, and I said I had an offer coming in. But by the end of the day, we had multiple offers from McColly agents on that house, and it was sold.
That's awesome.
So that's great too.
Good. And I think we've talked before about in the more that we get involved, and I know that Nathan and I have had a few lessons, but the bias towards first, it's just unbelievable how much, that what is it, NAR says 74% of the time that the seller lists the home with the first person they talk to. I think it's 68% of buyers are only working with one agent in the pursuit of buying a home. What we're finding is another huge bias when you get multiple offers is to deal with the first person that was there, because the seller's basically saying, well, they were the first one there, their offer was fair, and we thought that was the fair thing to do, was to sell it to them. But I didn't think that a year ago. I mean, that's something that we've had with a few problem deals that we've had, and we've learned that there is a huge bias towards being there first. And I think the other thing that's important too is, there's a lot of things going on in the marketplace today. We've got disruptors in our business and different things. And, we have people, let's be honest, you've all seen the commercials on TV, Redfin. will list your home for 1%. Yeah, I mean, today I saw one, and I've seen it before, but it's from, what is it HomeSmart? No, HomeLight. Okay, HomeLight is saying we have a simple sale, and that is that we have investors that'll make an offer on the house. Okay, what are they really trying to do? They're trying to get people to call, so they're going to get referrals of sellers. You know, one thing I wasn't thinking simple enough last week in Zillow, and I'm thinking to myself, I used to think this, I don't anymore. But why does Zillow have these estimates on there when they're so controversial? You know, I mean, doesn't everybody think that those are controversial?
Generate calls.
Yes, because what it does, it generates seller calls that they sell as leads. So what they're going to look at is that even though it is controversial, I mean, people are going to call. In fact, what we're doing is we're looking at having our own estimate on our websites, individual websites on McColly.com. But what we want to do is we found something we think is better, and it will show 3 estimates. It'll show the McColly estimate, it'll show the Zillow estimate, and then I think that's one from Appraisal Institute. So now the people are able to look at it and see that there's 3 of them. Okay, so what's it going to do? Well, you're going to get the seller's address on the person that's getting this estimate that we have off of our website. Again, trying to learn from Zillow, who I will give them credit, they're smart. But those are some of the things, you know, that we're up against. But I think one of the things, the lesson that we learned from this is that when we have a seller, okay, and we go out and we list that home, and let's say we're charging 3%, we're going to pay 3% on the co-op, and that home sells in 2 days by ABC Real Estate, and it's our listing. You know, let's be honest, that seller's looking and saw the ad on TV about the 1%. They're wondering, you know, what maybe the listing person did for the 3%. So I think that's something that we want to keep in common. And what we look at is that we feel, number one, you know, if the listing agent can sell the house, I think that's probably the best case scenario that we have. Number two, it would be sold by our company. And I think our third case scenario is that when it's sold on a co-op. I think there's more value to you as a listing agent when it's sold by our company than when it's sold by a co-op broker, because most people are selling a home, what's the average now, every 9 years? People are buying or selling a home on an average in our set every 9 years. So I think all these things make a difference, and the more things that we can do to create value to that seller, you know, I think it's important. So, but I appreciate those comments. Anybody else think of something that they'd like to share with us? So I don't have to call in. Who can I call in?
I thought of something.
Go ahead. I was just ready to call in.
I knew you were. One thing, when you share your app with people, you might want to let them know the reason to use our app and our website is, Monica, how fast does our site update from the MLS?
Every 15 minutes.
Wow.
Every 15 minutes. Who else can say that? So rather than them going to 5 other sites, they might as well go to our site. They might as well use your app, because within 15 minutes of anything that's put on the MLS, they're going to have privy to. So that's my thought.
And make sure you have a personalized ad. I didn't have a personalized one for the longest time, didn't even realize it.
Good point.
Okay, so Monica, would you answer the question of how to get the personalized app?
You could go to your agent website, and at the top of the page, there's download my app, and that link is specific to your personal agent app. I also want to address the issue that there were some update issues with the McColly Real Estate Act, which I'm aware of, and finally, with Nathan's help, had to get a little legal involved, has been resolved. So now those listings are updated every half hour in the app.
I have a suggestion for the mortgage calculator on the app. I don't think it has a place for you to put insurance, and it's so basic that you can't get all the numbers in to get a realistic estimate.
I don't want to show all my cards yet, but we have some new stuff coming that you guys will love.
Who in here had someone purchase a home in the last 60 days without a home warranty?
How dare they?
Ron's got his
Turn
hand.
around. Okay, come over there, Ron. Okay, who in here has someone who would benefit from a home warranty? Okay. If it's more than 60 days, I have access to a menu type home warranty at Consumer Direct. It's very affordable now, okay? In the last 60 days, we can still just send it through you, or I can take care of it. I would be happy to call them for you. Everyone is going to turn on their air conditioner in the next 6 weeks. Please consider that. I get at least 1 to 3 calls during the summer every single week of realtors very excited because the air conditioner did not turn on in the spring. Okay? Please come to me. I'm your partner, and I would really prefer we get those calls as opposed to you. Okay?
Good, thank you. So, any other questions? Dennis?
I've suggested this before, but use your social media to promote yourself and the company. While we're sitting here listening to Ron, I took a picture of him, posted it on the Facebook saying that how often does your company meet with the owner of your company monthly? If you would like to join our family, contact me, blah, blah, blah. But promote yourself. You all have that standard that you can use, and use it to promote the company and yourself.
Okay, thank you. So, but I think Debbie's comment, though, as far as with the listings, because I would say on McColly.com, I think I could comfortably say that we probably have 96 to 97% of the listings. And I can honestly say that all the surveys that they talk about, the Zillow and the Trulia, is basically somewhere in the range of 80%. Because again, we do not post our listings to Zillow or Trulia or Realtor.com unless it's done on an individual basis. But, I'll close by, unless anybody else has another comment that they'd like. But, we got a lot of advantages here. And I looked at, when I started selling real estate, what we have today. And the market keeps growing. And, I wrote last week, actually what I did is I copied out of the Berkshire Hathaway newsletter. But, this country just works. What we have here, there's no other country in the world that has this. And the one thing is, it's hard to believe, but there's a lot of people in this room, you're going to see the average sale price probably in our area before you retire, somewhere in the range of between $450,000 to $500,000. I mean, I see some of these other areas and I see the sale prices they have. But I think also that the way that our business works, I think it's too complicated. And when I hear these things like, well, the buyer's finding the home on the internet, well, they may find the home on the internet, but I mean, how many questions did you answer for that buyer in the interim? NAR on the survey that we talked about says the average buyer is looking at 10 homes over 10 weeks. So how many questions did you answer in that time period? So I don't think it's going to change as much as some of the other people think. And I think really the key is, if you look at the two key numbers, 75% of sellers, and that figure is rising, are listing with one person, the first person they talk to. So we go back, if you have that relationship, then you have the best chance of getting that listing. And still 68% of buyers are dealing with one agent in their purchase of a home. So basically what all of this disruptors that we have are going after the 32% of the buyers and the 25% of the sellers. So I think if we go back and we talk about the ninja selling, the ninja training, what is he talking about? If you have that constant interaction, with your sphere, and you're in the flow, and you see those people, I think that'll take care of itself. And I think it's just more on the forefront. But NAR does a great job. They have great statistics that they have. I think it's a great organization. But we will see changes. And probably what I think we're going to see more of in the future, I think that you're probably going to see more buyer broker contracts, which I think is going to happen. So with that, I thank you.